Okay, guys, we're back with that first grader Junie B here. And today and the rest of the week, I'm going to read you 2 chapters a day so that we can finish the story by Friday, okay? All right, so today we're on Stumped. Now, first grade's just starting out kind of PU for Junie B, isn't it? And her bestest friends are dropping like flies everywhere, but I think maybe she's met a new friend named Herb. So let's see on chapter 3 is Stumped. I wonder what that could mean. Me and Herb walked to room 1 from the bus. He waved to Mr. Scary, and then I waved too. I'm not even scared of that teacher hardly, I said just to myself. We kept on walking to our seats. May was already sitting at her desk, and she was organizing her pencil box. Lenny was at his desk too, only wait till you hear this. I didn't even recognize that guy almost, because Lenny had a thrilling new haircut, that's why. It was pointish and spikish and stiffish and straightish. That hair can puncture you, I think. Whoa, I said. Cool, said Herb. Gel, said Lenny. Shh, said May. Just then Jose came hurrying down the row. He was rushing real fast because the bell was almost ready to ring. Hola, everyone, he said out of breath. Hola, hola. Me and Herb and Lenny looked curious at him. Jose grinned. Whoops, he said, hola means hello in Spanish. I know 2 different languages, and sometimes I forget which one I'm speaking. Wow, Jose, I said, you really speak 2 languages? Cool, said Herb. Big deal, said May. I know Spanish too. I can count all the way to 3 in Spanish. Does anyone want to hear me? The rest of us looked at each other. Not really, said Herb. Not me, said Lenny. Me neither, said Jose. And here they are. Notice that their desks are a little different, and that's the way your desk will be in first grade. You have to keep them cleaned up. May didn't pay any attention to us. Uno, dos, tres, she said real loud. I leaned near the front of her. Shh, I said. Then everyone laughed and laughed, but not May. Pretty soon the bell rang for school, and Mr. Scary got our morning started. First, he took attendance of the children, and then we said I pledge allegiance to the flag, plus also we listened to boring bulletins from the office. Finally, Mr. Scary walked to the chalkboard, and he printed a list of words. Boys and girls, he said, this morning I have a fun assignment for you. He winked at us and pointed to the list. Beer. I want you to read these words to yourself, he said. Then, without talking to your neighbor, choose any word from the list and draw a picture of it in your journal. May squealed, very thrilled. Oh, goody, goody, she said. I love this kind of assignment, Mr. Scary. I am perfect at not talking to my neighbor. After that, she quick took a pencil out of her box and she started to draw. I stared at the words, and then I tapped on my chin and I scratched my head. Because I didn't actually get this assignment. That's why. I said, I glanced my eyes at Herb and Lenny and Jose. All of them were drawing too. I looked back at that board again, and then I stretched my neck as far as it could go, and I squinted my hardest. But those words had me stumped, I tell you. Finally, I reached out to Herb real secret, and I tapped his back. Psst, Herb, I whispered. Quick question. Which word are you drawing? May did a loud gasp. How would May sound? Oh, no. She jumped up from her seat and pointed at me. Mr. Scary, Junie Jones is talking to her neighbor. See her? She's talking to Herbert, and that is against the rules. I turned my head. Blabber lips, I yelled. Blabber lips, May. Mr. Scary looked back at us, and his mustache was not smiling. I did a gulp. And then I opened my journal, and I started to draw. So now we're on chapter 4 called Clucks. I thought a chicken went cluck. Let's see what's going on here, okay? We drew and drew in our journals, and Mr. Scary waited until all of us were done. Then he walked around the room, and he looked at everyone's picture, and he gave us out shiny gold stars. First, he gave stars to Camille and Chanel. What great-looking dogs you drew, girls, he said. Look at those floppy ears. Lucille raised her hand. Look at mine, teacher, she said. I drew a cat with pointy ears. See, my rich Nana has an expensive cat just like this. Its fur is a foot thick almost. Mr. Scary looked real strange at her. Really, Lucille, a whole foot of fur, he said. My, my. He gave her a gold star and moved on, and he went to a boy named Roger, and Roger was in my same class last year. Excellent job, Roger, Mr. Scary said. You drew a man wearing a coat. The word man and coat were both on the board, weren't they? I did a little frown, because none of those words were actually sounding familiar. After that, Mr. Scary walked to Sheldon and Shirley. Cool bat and ball, Sheldon, he said. And Shirley, you drew a bat and ball too, didn't you? I put my head on my desk. Something was very wrong here. Finally, Mr. Scary got to May. Oh, May, he said, what a special clock you drew. The big hand has 5 fingers. That's very unusual. Yes, said May. I created it myself. Plus, clock was the hardest word up there. Wasn't it, Mr. Scary? I am the only one who even knew the word clock, I bet. Just then, my stomach felt sickish inside. I quick closed my journal and stuffed it in my desk, and Mr. Scary saw me. Junie B, he said, don't you want to show me your drawing? Don't you want a gold star for today? I shook my head real fast. Nope. No, thank you. I said, no, I don't. I said, not today. I really don't care for a gold star today, but thank you for asking. Mr. Scary just kept on standing there. The end, I said, but he did not budge. Please move along, I said. Finally, Mr. Scary bent down next to me, and he lowered his voice so no one could hear. I'm sorry, Junie B, but I'd really like to see what you drew, he said. I need to make sure that you understand assignment. Then, before I knew it, he took my journal out of my desk, and he gave it to me to hold. After that, he walked me into the hall, and he let me show him my drawing in private. And here is Mr. Scary and Junie B in her drawing. Now, on the drawing, it says cluck, cluck, cluck. And guess what? He liked it! Oh, wow, look at that, Junie B. He said, you drew a wonderful picture of he kept on looking, a screaming chicken, I said finally. Mr. Scary did a strange face. Yes, right, he said. It's a screaming chicken, I said again. I pointed at the chicken's mouth. See how it's screaming cluck, cluck, cluck? I used capital letters for the clucks. Capitals are for screaming, correct? Well, yes, I suppose so, said Mr. Scary. But the thing is, Junie B, the word cluck was not on the board today. I know it, I said. The word on the board was clock. Only I didn't read all the letters right, I guess, because I accidentally thought it was cluck. I tapped on my chin. What I actually wanted to draw was the butt and bull, I said. I really liked the sound of that one, but I didn't know how to get started exactly, so I went ahead with the cluck idea. Mr. Scary looked confused at me. The butt and bull, he said. I smiled, kind of embarrassed. Yeah, well, I read those words wrong too. I read those words wrong too, I guess, I said. They turned out to be bat and ball. Mr. Scary frowned. He said. What about the other words on the board, Junie B? Do you remember how you read some of the other words? How about dog and cat, or coat and goat? I thought back, and then I made my voice real quiet. Dug and caught and coot and ute, I said. Mr. Scary nodded his head. Then he patted my hand very nice, and he gave me back my journal, and we walked back in to room number 1. Wonder what the problem is. What do you think it could be? Bug Bag is chapter 5 for tomorrow, and I'll go ahead and tell you chapter 6 is called The E-Game. Oh my, there's no telling with this Junie B, is there? Okay, guys. Y'all have a super evening. I love you, and I will see you in the morning. Bye.